A couple of weeks ago, Bend Studios announced that Days Gone will be coming to PC this spring, along with rumors of other PlayStation exclusives coming to PC at a later date. The reactions to this have been mixed so far. Some were really happy that the game could be played outside of the PlayStation circle, while others were upset that they were ripped off since these games were advertised as PlayStation exclusives and now they're not. I for one think it's a good idea, so today's video is going to be me talking about the topic and why I think it's a good thing that Days Gone and all the other games are coming to PC, even for those that might be upset about this change. To start things off, I want to get something clear. I have never bought a PlayStation, and I don't think I ever will unless it's a used PS3 or PS4, and that's going to be years later. In fact, I'm pretty much done with consoles at the moment. I'm still thinking about buying a Nintendo Switch so I could play some games that aren't mobile ripoffs on the go, but aside from that, I'm sticking with my PC. With that being said, I never got to play any of these PlayStation exclusives. Part of this is because they never really interested me, which never made me want to buy a PlayStation console in the first place. I'm a first-person shooter guy that mainly plays competitive multiplayer games, and I don't think I can name any PlayStation exclusive with those features. A lot of these games are story-driven campaigns that only take around 20 to 40 hours to finish, which isn't a bad thing since I do like shorter campaigns, unlike games like The Witcher that could take 100 hours just to finish the main story. But there really isn't anything else after that story mode. Some PlayStation exclusives have co-op and multiplayer modes, such as The Last of Us, but watching footage on YouTube clearly shows that it was an afterthought and is just there for people that want to experience the game with their friends. Basically, none of these PlayStation exclusives could grab my attention, at least not enough attention for me to buy a $500 box just to play them. I would much rather invest my money and time into a game that not only has a good story mode, but as well as a good multiplayer that has a lot of replayability value, especially if it's something free like Valorant, a game that has little to no story mode but has a phenomenal multiplayer and has great replayability value. These PlayStation games coming to PC gives people like me interest in these games. We may not buy them right off the bat, but we're more likely to buy a PlayStation game on something like Steam or Epic since we're no longer required to fork over $500 just to play these games we're not even guaranteed to like. In my opinion, that's a win for Sony since they can now make money on a game years later after the exclusive release. But what about those that feel ripped off from the exclusive deals? Because believe it or not, some people only play on PlayStation because of the exclusives. I never really understood this. I don't know who could only play exclusives, but I guess those people exist. I will admit that it's kind of a turnoff for those that invested in these consoles for the exclusives. But here's the thing, you had 2 years to enjoy this as an exclusive, and I'm talking about Days Gone once again, more than enough time for the average person. I think what PlayStation should do is tell their audience that these will be timed exclusives if this whole PC movement remains. That way, when these games come to PC at a later date, they won't feel like they've been ripped off. The timed exclusivity can also justify owning a PlayStation in 2021 and beyond since PlayStation gamers will be able to play these games first for a year or two, and when the sales are down and the hype dies out, then the game can branch off to other platforms. I know some people will say that this decision won't make people want a PlayStation over an Xbox or PC anymore, but I'd argue that the exclusivity wasn't going to do that anyways. Again, people like me don't think $500 is worth a box with a locked performance just to play a few one and done games. Bringing them to PC will not only grow the game's sales after the exclusivity release, but may also convince some PC gamers that maybe the new PlayStation might actually be worth getting after playing these exclusives on PC, since they would want to get a sequel or another exclusive as soon as possible. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the exclusivity deal with PC. What are your guys' thoughts on this change? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I will talk to you all later.